Hi Aries, I'm Pam and welcome to your Psychic Tarot reading for November 2018. This month I laid out the 5-card Rainbow Tarot spread for you using the Aquarian Tarot deck. And remember, these are general readings, and to get messages pertaining specifically for you, you would need a private reading. This recording is for Aries Sun, Aries Ascendant, and Aries Moon. Please be sure to watch your rising sign and your moon sign, because some months they're going to resonate more for you than your sun sign will. All that being said, Aries, now on to your November 2018 Psychic Tarot reading. First card you have here today, Aries, is the Queen of Cups. And the Queen of Cups could be a water sign, female or male, being a Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio, sun sign, rising sign, or moon sign. This could also be you, Aries, if you have a rising sign or a moon sign that is a water sign. I do feel that it's important that you listen to what the Queen of Cups has to say to you in November, because I feel they have some important information or have something important to say to you. And for some of you, you're going to like their ideas and what they have to say, and you may do something with it. You may, maybe valuable information you can use in your career or in your business or with something you want to do. I feel like you're going to have to stop and pay a lot of attention and really direct your focus on the Queen of Cups. You really are going to have to listen to what they have to say. They do want your attention. Now, for some of you, you may be coupled with this Queen of Cups. They could be a romantic partner for you. For others, it could be somebody like a friend, a mentor, somebody on YouTube. You're watching a video and they happen to be a water sign person and they're giving you some really valuable instruction or information or psychic predictions. It could even be something like that. But it's very important that you listen, put focus on them, your attention on them, and listen to them in November. I feel like they're just full of a wealth of ideas. They're a wealth of ideas and a wealth of information. So for some of you, this Queen of Cups wants you to show them your support. They could want emotional support from you. They could want a shoulder to lean on kind of support in that way. Or it could even be financial support from you. They may be very hypersensitive and hypercritical in November. And I get, now whether this is all the time or just November, I get they do not let little things slip by. So they really focus on, they're really I don't want to say they're nitpickers, because I don't know that it means in a negative sense, but I get that, nothing's going to slip by them. They're very, very meticulous and specific and detail oriented. You may have even discussions with them about life, relationships, harmony, or disharmony. Some of you may have those kind of conversations with this queen. And she's definitely figuring things out, and she's very analytical. She may be that way all the time, or maybe it's just for this month. So the card you have next to it that follows this Queen of Cups is the Devil, and this is being addicted to something, having some kind of addiction to something. It could also be being trapped and bound to an unhealthy relationship or trapped and bound to an unhealthy situation. It can also be trapped and bound to an unhealthy love relationship even. I feel like there's some fears that you need to put aside. And I do feel that some of you are dissipating your energies. You may be wasting your energies and dissipating your energies, spreading them out on things that really are not that important, or they don't really matter too much. I do feel, Aries, your head's going to be a little bit up in the clouds in November. And you're kind of I don't know that you're seeing things really, really clearly this month, because I get this kind of dream-like quality, and your head's kind of in the stars or in the clouds. A little bit of that is going to be going on for you. So you might not be seeing things as clearly as you normally would. Some of you Aries are going to be putting everything you have into something that you're intent about. And this could be like, if you're intent on a love relationship, you are going to be putting all your efforts and energies into that love relationship. If it's finding a new job, you're going to be putting all your efforts and energy into that job, or looking for one, or into a business or career or job you have. Like, whatever is captivating you in November, you're going to be pouring everything into it. Could even be money. You could be even pouring money into it as well. Some of you are going to feel like you have to lighten your load, loosen the reins around your neck, lighten the burdens that are on your back. So you may even start to get rid of things. And it could be things in your home. It could be things like that you could sell, or, pare down your bills. Like, if you're like, you know what, I got to find a cheaper cell phone carrier. I've got to stop using cable and I'm going to get a Roku stick. Or I'm going to, buy things in bulk and store them in my basement, instead of going, oh, I need paper towels and then I need toilet paper. You may buy gigantic amounts and put them in your basement so you're not paying high prices. I mean, I don't know what you're going to do, but I see you paring things down, lightening the load, freeing up some space. So maybe you aren't going to buy stuff in bulk, because that's not freeing up space. But you know what I mean? Like, some of it's lightening the loads about debts, your debts also. And something you may say, oh, I don't believe she said that. You have to stop wishing for things to happen, and you have to make them happen. And I know Aries is a very driven sign. I have Aries rising, so I understand when you get something in your mind and you're like, you want to drive forward about it. I get it. So, but if you've been like wishing for the right person to come in, wishing for the right job opportunity to come along, wishing for some drastic change to happen, you have to be that change. Some of it's going to fall on you. So the next card you have is the Knight of Swords. This is an air sign person. This is either an Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra, sun sign, rising sign, or moon sign. This could be you, Aries, if you have a rising or moon sign that is an air sign. This could be somebody that really, for some of you, wants to see you suffer and wants to cause you some pain, or wants not, or has a bone to pick with you. Maybe they don't want to see you suffer or cause you pain, but they may not be happy with you in November or December. And they may feel like you owe them something, like you owe them money, or you owe them restitution, or maybe if you borrowed money from them, you owe them money back. Or maybe they want or need information from you, or your time and energy. It could be a wide range of things of what they want, because it's not going to be the same for all of you Aries, because it is a general reading, as I always say. And if these messages are not making sense to you so far, two things to remember. One, you can't evaluate whether these messages were accurate until you get into December, because they're predictions. Some of you, they may have already happened, so they may resonate for you. And the other thing is, if they're not making sense to you even a little bit, then you need to watch your rising sign or your moon sign. And let me tell you, as much as I feel they may be annoyed or bothered by you, you may be very annoyed and bothered about and by this Knight of Swords. I feel it can go either way here, because I get you could be annoyed with them. You're going to feel like they're trying to stop something, block something, or cause upheaval. I feel like that's what your perspective is going to be. For some of you, this could be a coworker. It could be somebody at your job that's like a thorn in your side. It's possible. But for some of you, it could be somebody, like a family member, or I don't know, because it feels contentious to me, no matter which direction I look at it, whether it's you to them or them to you. They may be on their high horse. They may be marching in with some highfalutin ideas, and they may feel like they've got the letter of the law on their side, or they're coming from a high position, or they're lofty at the time you're dealing with them in November. It's like, for some of you, I feel like they're an instigator. They're an instigator, or they're kind of like a thorn in your side in November. Next card you have here is Ace of Cups, and this is new love, new beginnings in love. So if you're already coupled, you could have a new beginning with their partner. This could be a new love relationship coming in. It could also be God giving you the holy grail of love, like universal love, or people are just going to be loving you in November. It could be like that. Some of you, Aries, are spending time giving in thought of how to move forward in love. So there could be somebody that you're interested in and you're dating them, or you haven't started to see them yet and you want to proceed forward with them and you're trying to figure out how to do it. Or you're single and you want to get on a dating site, or you don't want to be on dating sites and therefore you want to figure out how you can proceed forward in love. And for some of you, you're already coupled and maybe there's been some ups and downs, or a little bit of confusing situations. So you want to figure out how you can proceed forward in that kind of love relationship. Some of you that are already coupled are going to be going over things and redoing things. You could be redoing your wallpaper. You could be redoing your walls and painting them. You could be getting new carpet. You could be getting new window treatments and new shades or curtains or blinds, or I see many of you redoing things in your home or outside and around your home. I do feel that some of you Aries are going to feel like, you know what, I'm getting too much influence from outside people. Or people are trying to influence and they're on the outside. So this could be friends giving you too many opinions. It could be your relatives butting their nose in. It could be a combination of both. It could be coworkers telling you stuff. I don't know, but it's like, I feel like it's more like in an opinion sense. You're getting too many opinions from other people. You may also be experiencing issues where there's some people around you or in your life that are behaving jealously or envious of you. And you may not even perceive it like that's what's going on. I feel some of you may feel like, oh, they're just being bitchy, or oh, they're just being a jerk. Or you may not realize, some of you might, but for some of you, you may not pick it up and realize that it's actually some envy and jealousy that's swirling around here. Some of you are going to receive compliments and accolades about a job well done. So this could be coming from, like, if you did any subcontracted work for people, or at your job, your employer may be doing this, or if you have clients and customers, getting positive feedback and, accolades and people congratulating you or saying thank you. You did an awesome job. So that also comes up here. Now you have the Six of Swords next. This is moving. To me, this is moving to a new home. It could be moving on to better shores, from troubled shores to better shores. This can also be a card that symbolizes long distance travel. Sometimes it could be having to commute for work or taking a big trip, traveling overseas, something like that. But usually this card comes up to me when somebody's making some kind of move. Some of you are going to take some kind of training or studying something abroad. And it could happen online if you don't get in a boat or a plane and actually go there. And it may only be for a designated period of time. Like, it's not like necessarily you're going there for 4 or 5 years. It could be. but it feels more like, going to take a class. Going over there for, 6 months or 3 months or 5 weeks or something like that, for those of you that message applies to. I do feel like you have a lot of decisions on your plate, and you have to make decisions about where you want to be in the next 6 months. So some of you may actually be contemplating moving, or something to do with relocating. Maybe you just want to move to a different apartment or a different house, or move from a house to an apartment, or the reverse, an apartment to a house. It doesn't mean all of you will be going far, but for some of you there is long distance, studies somewhere for some of you Aries. Some of you may feel like you want your income to be more stable, like you feel like it's fluctuating too much. Maybe your expenses and your bills have really kicked up, and what's coming in is like just barely covering it, or not covering it as well as it had in the past. Some of you are going to receive some kind of notification from your job that you have to go somewhere or travel somewhere for your work. Maybe it's a seminar or a course they want you to take, or maybe it's like, oh, guess what? We need you to go to the headquarters, and get on a plane and fly, or drive. Maybe it's not that far, but I do feel that some of you are going to be hearing this from your employers, where they're going to ask you and tell you you have to go somewhere for work. I'm going to tell you what, those of you, there's many of you Aries, I feel like something is pushing you to move. It could be your own will and your own desire. Maybe you feel restless, or there's, but for some of you, maybe there's reasons behind it. Like you feel like where you are is too expensive. Maybe the taxes are too high, or, your mortgage is too high, or, I don't know, because you did get like downsizing energy in the beginning of the reading and wanting to lighten your loads and lighten your burdens. And here, this is traveling to better shores, but it's also, it can be moving. And I do feel that some of you I don't know that all of you will be doing it in November. It's highly unlikely that most of you would do it in November, but I really feel that there's a lot of you in November and going forward, you're going to be seriously considering like a move, because I feel like the universe is trying to push you to do it. Or spirits, your spirit guides, I don't know, but you're getting this like an urge is coming up here for you. So now I'm going to look into the Magical Mermaids and Dolphins Oracle cards, and I used to do this in the beginning when I first came on YouTube almost 5 years ago. I would pull angel cards or oracle cards at the end, and I saw these and I hadn't used them in a very, very, very long time, and I thought, you know what, why not? Let's see what the cards, these oracle cards, have for you. And you got morning affirmations. Say positive affirmations each morning to open the gates of manifestation. So that's the card you got. Okay, so let's see why it's here. I do feel actually some of you Aries may be feeling like your feelings have gotten ambushed. And when I say that, the ambush could be from other people's behaviors, other people's influences and desires, or not like contention about what you're doing, or not in agreement, or wanting you to do other things. So I feel like your feelings have gotten ambushed. And I also get this sense that some of you Aries feel like you're twisting and spinning in the wind, or you're kind of left hanging out to dry, or you're hanging in a limbo state in some way. I picked that up for some of you Aries. If you take the time to do this, I feel that you're going to become very conscious of listening to the voice within you, not just to say positive affirmations. I feel like you're actually going to make a stronger connection with your guides if you do this in the morning and be still and listen. I feel like your guides do really want to communicate with you. Now, there's many Aries out there that already hear their guides and are already listening, but even if you do already, I feel like if you listen to this, since it came up for you, it actually flipped out of the deck. So that's the one I pick. If they flip out, it's the one I read. And so it's important for you to pay attention to it, even if you're already really well versed at listening to your spirit guides. You do have some location changes coming up, and I feel like even if you have your own business, I feel like there's something, don't be surprised if you don't start operating this business out of a new location. Or it could be your living space. And if you work out of your home, it could be living space changes, therefore your work space changes. But again, I'm going to go back to what I said with the Six of Swords. Some of you, it's a contemplation and an urge and being a push to do it, or getting planning to do it in November. It doesn't necessarily mean you will be making that move in November. So I hope this reading was of help to you, and I hope it made sense. I want to thank you so much for watching, sharing, and liking my videos. Thank you for subscribing and for Google Plusing. I do truly appreciate that. And please remember to subscribe. That way you'll get notified when I upload my videos here to YouTube. And if you're interested in getting a continuation of this reading, Aries, where I looked into my crystal and got you additional predictions and messages for the month of November 2018, you can access these videos for download and purchase by clicking on the link below this video, and it will take you to those videos on Vimeo. Also, I have 2 other video series you might be interested in that I recorded in the middle of the month of October. The first video series is the Venus in retrograde psychic tarot reading for each sign of the zodiac, where I pulled 3 cards using this deck because I hadn't used it in a long time. And I'm like, whoa, I hadn't used the good old Aquarian deck. And since I'm an Aquarius, I thought, well, let's see. I always like this deck. I don't use it that much. I used to use it way more. So in those videos for the Venus retrograde, I pulled 2 cards from the 3 cards from the Aquarian Tarot deck. The first card is going to be what you're struggling with during this Venus in retrograde period, which started on October 5th and goes direct on November 16th, but we're still in the shadow period a month following it. And the second card is what you're clearing out. What are you clearing out, or how you're clearing it out during the Venus in retrograde period. And then the third card is what is coming up moving forward, what you're doing, how you're handling it, and what is to come when you move forward. And even though the Venus in retrograde is like a designated, I think it's 6 weeks, I don't know if I'm saying that right, period of time, the moving forward part goes way beyond that. So these are not limited just to during Venus in retrograde, because you're working on this stuff. That's why I wanted to do, what are you struggling with? What are you clearing out? And how are things going to move forward? So you can click on that link below and it will take you to those videos on Vimeo. And then the third series I did is called Spirit Animal Messages and Gemstone Crystal Readings for each sign of the zodiac, where I pulled 2 cards from the Stephen D. Farmer Messages from Your Animal Spirit Guides cards oracle deck. And then I took my purple velvet bag of gemstones and put my hand in the bag, focusing on your sign, and whatever crystal landed in my hand and jumped into my hand, I pull that out of the bag and I psychically read the stone to tell you what you need to know, why it's good for you, any other predictions and messages. And I give you facts like what the energetic properties of the stone, what zodiac sign it's connected to, what planet it's connected to, what chakras it's good to put on, for healing, this and the stone. But since I'm pulling it for your specific sign, I psychically read it so you'll know why you should carry it in your pocket or hold it throughout your day or sleep with it under your pillow, put it on your chakras when you're doing any healing work or meditation. So hopefully you'll find those interesting. People have really seemed to like those. So no, you can always get those videos also by going to my website, www.theluckymermaid.com. Click on the videos tab on my menu And there you will find these videos, 3 video series that I listed right here at the top of that videos page. You just find the video series you're interested in, click on that, your sign, and then it will take you to that video on Vimeo for download and purchase. I hope you have an absolutely phenomenal November, Aries. And know that I wish you many blessings and peace.